So with that, I must say one thing. I'm very happy that you are here online. But we did actually discuss over dinner that you would have your avatar here. I'm a little bit jealous because the minister actually has a physical robot or avatar, what do we call it? It can walk, talk, and do everything like you, but I mean, you being here in person, of course, is even better, but I'm a little bit jealous. And maybe next year I will be able to have my own robot also imitating me. But with that, let me welcome our next speaker, the Digital Minister of Japan, Taro Kono. Welcome.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone, at Masters of Digital 2023. Greetings from Japan. Well, I wish I could be there, or at least my avatar. Well, unfortunately, I just found out sending avatar cost as much as me going there. So next time. But I'm very grateful for this opportunity to speak to you today. I wish I could have attended in person, really, but unfortunately, I need to be in Tokyo because the Japanese parliament is in session. I understand that over 2,000 people are joining you in person and online. Congratulations. At the beginning of this year, I toured G7 countries and had a dialogue with digital ministers. I always believe that these face-to-face discussions are very important and productive. During my visit to Brussels, I also had an opportunity to speak with the board members of Digital Europe. I appreciate all your support and input as industry representatives. Today, I would like to talk about a shared vision for digitalization interoperability, and especially some important factors such as trust, which is crucial for international data sharing and technology use. We live in an era in which countries' power is determined by the way they harness digital technology. Structural changes, decarbonization, and crises like wars and pandemics only amplify this dynamic. In Japan, we created a new digital agency in 2021 to oversee the digital transformation of government and beyond. We were motivated in part by Japan's own experiences, which have shown how crucial it is that we meet the challenges of a digital-driven society. In the analog era, Japan was at the forefront of the world, but the truth is that the pandemic exposed how far we had fallen behind in the deployment of digital technology.
We are so glad to have you back. You were saying something about being behind on connectivity?
Well, you know how bad our digital connections in Japan now. So, where was I? Well, we created the digital agency in 2021 to oversee the digital transformation of the government. And, well, the pandemic exposed how far we had fallen behind in deployment of digital technology. So it is a big problem for Japan because our population is declining at the rate of more than 500,000 a year. It's creating challenges in areas ranging from labor market to healthcare. We need to address these challenges, but doing the same thing we've been doing all along isn't an option. It's a dead end. So what we are aiming for is human-centric digitalization, which means having robots, AI do things that don't need to be done by people, and letting humans focus on things that only humans can do. High-tech society may seem cold and heartless, but our vision is to create a warm society with technologies. We aim to use technologies to bring people together and support human relationship. In promoting digitalization for society, it is very important to ensure trust in data flows and to protect personal information, human rights, and dignity. One of my missions as Minister for Digital Transformation is to help get data flowing for the public good. For that to happen, we need to build a trust in our digital spaces. Unfortunately, the infrastructure of digital space is not currently secure enough to enable information to flow as freely as it should. The public and private sectors need to work together to change that. Let me list a few of challenges facing our highly digitalized society. They are concerns about reliability of information. Fake news and other kinds of disinformation are creating divisions in our societies. Concerns about privacy. Can we really control our personal data? Risks associated with overconcentration. Increasingly, the internet is becoming the territory of a small number of powerful service providers. As digitalized as our societies are becoming, the fact is that too much valuable information remains stuck behind walls and is not available to the people and organizations who are in the best position to use it to help society. This year, Japan is serving as president of the G7, and I am hosting the G7 Digital and Tech Ministers meeting. I believe it is essential for G7 members and other like-minded countries to take a leadership role in making digital space safe and trustworthy. The guiding principle here is something we call data free flow with trust, or DFFT. Even among the G7, each country has its own view and policies on data. But cooperation to ensure interoperability and transparency among national systems is possible, and we must work together to achieve them. Japan would like to take this opportunity of the G7 to forge an agreement to accelerate institutional cooperation and technological responses to DFFT. We want to propose an international framework for public-private partnership that will serve as the core of this effort. This organization will work with the governments and other stakeholders to address various issues in the cross-border transfer of data through the development of specific projects. In cooperation with existing institutions such as the OECD, it is important to establish a truly useful system that addresses the challenges faced by companies, universities, and others who want to use data in ways that involve cross-border transfers. I would like to obtain the endorsement and participation of G7 government for this international organization for data transfer, as well as of public and private entities from the G7 and other like-minded countries. And we would like to work with the Global South as well. We would like to share the result of our work with all participants and contribute to the development of a global digital society. The first thing we will pursue in this framework is institutional cooperation. Promoting transparency and interoperability must be made a policy priority. And we have heard from businesses, universities, and others that this is an initiative they want governments to undertake. The second area is technology cooperation. The cost of data protection is becoming an issue, but privacy-enhancing technologies, or PETs, can often make data protection smoother. There are some other issues, such as fake news, that can be addressed with technology. It's possible to imagine various projects to deal with these challenges, even if they are still in the idea stage. They include building a database of laws and regulations on cross-border data transfer of each country to improve transparency, and eventually making automatic updates through API linkage possible, and establishing international regulatory sandboxes for emerging technologies. The establishment of the international body will help to build momentum for international multilateral cooperation. It will foster concrete projects, establish a trust base for international data, minimize barriers to data exchange, and enhance international interoperability. When it comes to data, there are three kinds of trust we have to keep in our mind. Trust in information, trust in the parties that share information, and trust in how information is used. We can help build trust by enhancing verifiability of data and the parties that share it, and enhancing the controllability of data. The government of Japan is working with academia and industry on an initiative called the Trusted Web to improve verifiability and controllability of distributed trust-enhancing technologies. We think that Trusted Web could be one of the tangible projects pursued under this framework. And Japan is not the only country where such initiatives are being pursued. In the EU, efforts are being made to use digital identity wallets, and similar initiatives are taking place in other countries as well. Japan is now rapidly deploying an individual ID system called My Number as the basis for the government digital transformation. Nearly 100 million citizens have applied for it, making it the most issued ID in Japan, even more than driver's licenses. As a next step, we would like to discuss making My Number IDs interoperable with the European eID. Last year, Japan-EU Digital Partnership was established with the aim of advancing cooperation in the digital realm to promote economic growth and to achieve sustainable society through inclusive, sustainable, and human-centric digital transformation. Through the Japan-EU Digital Partnership, we would like to promote increased interoperability of reliable electronic IDs, especially corporate IDs, expansion of international standards such as PEPL for electronic invoices, and cooperation in research in the field of 5G, AI, and quantum computing. At the same time, we hope that various synergies will be created between Europe and Japan through cooperation with industry. Japan and Europe are partners based on common interests and shared values such as freedom, respect for human rights, democracy, and a rule-based international order. In our changing international environment, with crises such as Russia's aggression against Ukraine, it is important for Japan and Europe to deepen cooperation in various fields. I know Japan and Europe can work together to create a better digital world. Thank you very much. And next time, I hope to see you in person. Thank you.